Good afternoon, Automata. Here we are back with another iteration of our COVID-19 charity tournament. Here I'm joined by Jag, and today we have quite a match today.
Yeah, it should be pretty exciting. Yeah, we've got the Toronto Deviant going up against Cream Team, two teams that know each other from past tournaments, two teams that seem to be pretty close in skill and SR range, so I'm really excited to see what's going to happen here.
Yeah, definitely a lot of variables that can go into it. But something interesting though is that if you looked at the match before, like our expectations maybe were a little bit off. Like no one was expecting Houston Southlaws to get rolled quite as badly as they did before.
Well, the Houston Southlaws are a brand new team, so maybe that inexperience showing there a little bit in that match, but I think that the team that beat them could go pretty far in this tournament. What do you think?
I think they have quite a bit of potential. Like, oh, give me a second. Like, who was the team again? They're pretty.
Bang beat them.
Bang, yeah, Bang. Yeah, what a team they are. What a team. Like, definitely, we knew that they were a pretty strong team, but we weren't expecting them to be so powerful right out of the gate. So definitely a contender to win it all.
Absolutely. Quick shout out first.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Now you can do it.
Quick shout out to some of our new followers: Harmony Giant, Pyro TV, Go Controls, Ignis, XD, and Monster OW. Thank you for the follow.
Yep, every follow definitely helps us out a bunch. Speaking of which, it's definitely a tougher situation that we all are in today. Kind of combined to our house instead of roaming the streets. But we are here to celebrate the game that we all or hate or love and are leaving to go to conference.
Yeah, I mean, Overwatch is definitely a love-hate relationship sometimes, but we're all here for some great matches. And what I think I'm most excited about for this version of the tournament, not only is it for a great cause, but there are going to be hero bands selected at random, which I think will add a lot of interesting interactions to this competition. Some teams might be prepared at some metas, but they might be thrown through a loop because of that.
Yeah, that's right. Gotta throw you guys with something new here. As we roll in the tank bands to start it all off. Definitely a lot of influential picks that could come out here. Probably the thing we don't want to see is Wrecking Ball get banned. And interestingly enough, we get Sigma banned to start it off.
Sigma, very powerful.
Yeah. So that's definitely going to limit the flexibility of a lot of these double shield comps, especially.
Yeah.
But what do you think to affect it?
I think one of the biggest things, as you said, is double shield is definitely not going to be as powerful, at least in a more long-form bunker comp. A lot of the time you would see him maybe with a Bastion, a Mercy, and a Baptiste, and you'd kind of be sitting in a corner. But I think that people are going to have to be kind of rushing in more. But I think we're ready for the next pick.
Yeah, for all you who say double shield is going to be banned, I want you guys to calm your excitement, as the Rhino recess still very much a thing. So let's keep that in mind, as that might be a very much influencing factor throughout this entire match. Interestingly enough, Pharah will be the second ban. Ooh, this might be targeted bits.
Yeah, Pharah just got a huge buff, so I think that her out of this will be great for hit scan players, not having to worry as much about people in the sky. I think that it could be really bad for some players that are projectile and are really expecting some splash damage here.
Yeah, the ultimate pocket pick now out of the bag. Was there a second roll? Did I miss it? No, there was no second roll. We are going right in. And I can't really see. Is that Ash will be banned out? So once again,
two maps in a row.
Yep, the character that just got reworked and is a lot stronger now, taken out of the pool right away. Though I feel like it's not really that influential, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, when you've got heroes like McCree and Widow, Ashe kind of has this weird in-between spot where she's sort of a sniper, sort of a medium-range hero. So I don't think the impact will be as great, especially with Far out of the pool already. I think that she can control high ground sometimes, especially getting some really great dynamites, but I don't think this will be as influential as so far we've seen for the other two picks.
Yeah, definitely. And last but not least, definitely not least, we have the support bands. All the supports have been fairly influential the last few days. Let's see what we got in store for us. What are you hoping for?
Just not Zen. That's the only thing I'm hoping for.
See, and now watch as Jag jinx this to lose Zen. But no, we will lose. No, Jag.
What will I do now?
Well, okay, guys, shut it down. Moira's out. This is terrible. Like we're gonna see such boring gameplay now that Moira's out of the pool.
Well, Moira definitely might not most be exciting gameplay. I think she has a lot of value with her healing orbs. So the fact that she's out of this makes Brawl a little bit weaker.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's gonna turn into more sustained comps overall, as Moira's kind of short burst healing will be out of the question, and we're probably gonna see a lot more even Brig Ana or Lucio Ana.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I think Luciana was meta for a reason for a while. I think Brig has kind of come into the mix a little bit when people realize, man, she can do a lot of healing if she's in the front line. We're going to have to see what's being run here and who can run it better.
Yeah, definitely. And that concludes our ban phase. For y'all who are just coming in, the bans are Sigma, Pharah, Ashe, and Moira.
What do you think we're going to see here today? What do you think is maybe the ideal comp now of these bans?
Probably, honestly, Double Shield is still fairly powerful. And if anything, these bans eliminate some of the biggest counterplays against it. Maybe not so much in the DPS comp, but like losing, Moira is such a massive loss for Brawl comps and Death Ball comps.
I agree.
They can substitute in an Ana in those situations, but it's going to be a lot harder to land those nades against Orisa Ryan, in my opinion. Although you don't have to worry about what's going Sigma on the board, kind of just throwing up a barrier. Although there is an X factor in there, and that's D.Va is still in the rotation.
Yeah, I think D.Va could be very powerful right now, especially knowing that she doesn't have to deal with a Pharah in the sky. I agree, though, that I think Double Shield could still be played. I think that Ryan Orisa is very strong, especially if you pair it with a Zen Bap. A lot of spam long-distance shield break, and if you hit those pull fire strikes, I mean, you're charging all so quickly of Ryan. It's just very hard to beat.
Yeah, the closest that you're gonna get to that Brawl comp is gonna be Lucio Ana with the Ryan D.Va. That's probably the closest you'll ever get. So it might just be a very map-dependent game out here.
Well, I'm hoping that we get to see a lot of comps. I think that, map geometry plays such an important role into what teams succeed and what teams just end up failing. So especially with Control being our first map type, we could see a lot of unique different comps come out for each point, which, is definitely more exciting for us and for the viewers. So
yeah,
let's see what
definitely.
we get.
Speaking of, let's see what we get. Our first Control map of this game will be Busan. So Busan is probably the perfect testing ground for these sort of comps, because on every map there, you have a lot of variety with how you can run the comps. It's just
Absolutely.
how you can play it.
Yeah, I mean, on downtown, you've got a lot of high ground for really great dive points. On Mecha Base, it's very brawly because it's very self-contained. And then on Sanctuary, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but that one has such long sight lines that it'd be really good for double sniper.
It is called Sanctuary.
I always just call it the big drum map, so at least we're remembering that.
The big drum. Yeah, close enough.
I'm excited, and it looks like we're entering game now.
Yep. All right, starting this out, opening the gates on Busan. We are going to start out with mecha bases, and as long as there's no Lastros in the chat, we are going to be good to start right away. So let's see if our predictions are correct on these team comps.
Waiting to see what they come out as the first shot. Now remember, some of these could be meme picks, so we can't really be super relied on until we see them come out the gate.
Oh, it's a big variety here. We're gonna see Ryan Zarya, so neither of our predictions were correct, but they definitely could hold up.
It makes sense for a brawl comp.
We do have a bit of a discrepancy here, as some of the players are probably having some lag issues.
I think personally what I'm most excited to see here right now is both teams are running the Lucio, but one team is running a Baptiste, and he does great burst healing as well as immortality. His ult gets a little bit less value depending on how you're playing. And then we have Ana, who does a ton of single target healing, and her nano can really be a lifesaver, especially. They also have the nade and no D.Va to eat the nade, so some huge antis could be in the favor of Cream Team.
Yeah, very interesting choice, Danny coming out on the Baptiste here. No, definitely not what I was expecting. As Baptiste can be pretty impactful in these deathball comps, but I feel like he's just inferior to the Ana in every situation except for burst healing. We're gonna get right back into this as the teams are finally ready to hit the ground running.
I'm wondering if Deviant are expecting a Mei here, and that's why they're trying to run the BAP, so if someone gets walled, they can lamp it.
All right, and out the gates they roll. Interestingly enough, on a BAP will be the final comp that Deviant are gonna run here. Scream Team, they're taking a bit more passive stance. They're okay letting. No, sorry. Deviant's taking a more passive stance. Juice getting the first pick for his team. Awesome start. Definitely what you want out of that McCree there. As they're kind of just playing slow, waiting for picks to come in. There we go. There's Doomstar trying to get the pick. However, he's unable to find anything. And so far, Deviant have almost full control. However, Will's just getting bullied in the corner right outside of the choke. And Deviant will clean up that fight in no time.
Right now, the Deviant are playing a really interesting strategy. They're going for double main heals over the Lucio speed. As you said, they're playing a more passive comp, kind of trying to wait for them to have Cream Team run into them. And so far, that extra healing seems to be paying off.
Yeah, definitely. There's just so much more sustain here for Deviant. But even though I was criticizing the comp for not having the speed boost, definitely making it work. Speaking of making it work, Cookie Bread with the early pick on the Lucio just opens that point right up for them to just push them all the way back in the spawn. However, William Zhang is going to try to do his best to stop it. Gets a solo shatter onto the Zarya. However, the shatter from Monster is bigger as it completely halts any sort of progress that Will was trying to solve with that.
4 ults were used in that fight, and almost none of them got value for Cream Team. The Shatter only getting the Zarya down, and they couldn't even finish her off. The ult economy here is going to be really bad for Cream Team going into this next fight. Deviant has 4 ults right now, and Cream Team is only approaching Male and Beat.
There you go. This grab can be the difference maker. Yeah, that's for the Cream Team there. That's kind of more of an eco fight that you want to take, as there's not much that can be done against that sort of ultimate economy.
It was a huge combination between the Doomfist ult and the Zarya, but nothing got in there. The Lucio tried using Beat to save everyone, and it just was not enough.
Simple, maybe not the most aim required here. But he has a very important ult in that Blizzard. That could be the turning point for his team here. Cream Team, they get a pretty big grab here, almost taking out the Doomfist. He does get taken out, and the Blizzard is massive. However, Zarya out of the battle for just a little bit. However, it doesn't even matter, as Simple and Disease are able to completely clean house. And Cream Team will finally get a chance to hold the point.
Yeah, but this is last fight territory. have to win this fight out or switch to stall picks from now on if they die. It's going to be really close. Both teams approaching McCree ults, and that's about it. Cream Team almost there to a nano that might be able to save someone if they get caught out.
Yeah, you can see Deviant being very selective with their push here. They want to take, oh no. Speaking of being very selective, that may well from Simple. Well, to put it simply, just completely shut down that push, and Deviant can't make anything done with that.
That's what I was talking about with the lamp coming out, trying to save people from the wall, but it just wasn't enough. They were able, Cream Team was able to focus down people caught behind the wall, and they were able to take that fight.
Yeah. So Cookie's been having a bit of a rough second half of this point, as he's having a hard time looking for picks as you guys try to look for keys. It's just as difficult. Oh, but I'll tell you what's not difficult. Looking for those big grabs through the bottom choke points, as Panda, that grab completely halted the push. And yeah, once again, Cookie's trying to get out, but he does manage to take out Gummeat in the end. So even though he does die, that might actually be a massive stagger pick that his team needed.
It could be if the team gets quickly enough together. As you saw there, really it just came down to one big ante coming in for Cream Team. Gummeat really hitting it when it's needed.
Oh, well, trying to get a fatty shatter in there. However, immediately gets bursted down. Probably not the best advised play. However, the Blizzard from Simple will halt them off for just a bit, and they might actually be able to scrap this fight out. However, they need to stop Monster from capping this point. Oh, very risky sound barrier from Tak. Just duels Monster on point, no fear at all. Simple's there to back him up. And as Will gets back, actually it looks like Cream Team will take this. Definitely not the expectation that I had midway through this map.
Yeah, Cream Team brought it back. They had a really bad ult economy after they took point, and they just seemed to be able to get one pick after another. That may playing a huge part of that. As you said, the Doom not getting a ton of value. I think a big part of that is because you have a McCree, you've got a Mei, you've got an Ana, all that have really great crowd control abilities. And you know, when you dive in as a Doom and you don't have any abilities to get you out, you're a sitting duck.
Yeah, sitting duck indeed. That was and there were a few cases where that was pretty rough to watch. Especially like I feel like Cookie should have swapped off the Doom a little bit earlier for that reason alone. But it's understandable why you still want to make it work there, as there's kind of that burst impact that you get from having him there. So we're gonna come out round 2, and we're gonna see Juice on the Widow, but no Widow on the other side, as Disease will stick. And in my opinion, Cream Team is doing the proper response to it. And in the meantime, they managed to catch out Ruka on a mad flank. However, Juice trading out with Disease, definitely making it interesting. Oh my goodness, Juice.
Juice, you are a mad lad right now.
There's not much else for us to say than Juice popped off.
I mean, Juice totally took control of that fight. So far, Cream Team's Mei play has been probably what's been winning the fights, but there, Juice got the behind flank and was able to get a bunch of headshots.
Yeah, now the important question for Deviant is, can he keep this up? And Disease, taking out both snipers on the side of Deviant here, as he's gonna have none of that. As the rest of Cream Team kind of just stroll on the point. Bit of a boss wall from Cookie here, but it doesn't look like it's gonna matter in the end. Maybe it will matter in the end, as Cream Team. Actually, no. What am I even talking about? That wall didn't even matter.
Disease said, "I see your Widow, and I will raise you, my Widow." Also, just taking control of that fight. Both teams pretty even in ult economy right now. They both have shadows going into this, but Cream Team is much closer to their Ana ult, so we're gonna see if Nano comes into play here.
Disease is showing no mercy. He knows that no one can contest the high, so he's just holding like with that Widow here. Ruka just barely makes it to safety, and yikes, Monster hitting a nice Muma into Will's shield. As yeah, he's playing exactly like Muma, unnecessary charges and everything, but somehow his team is still managing to win it out. Massive shatter from Will though completely opens up the points. And what was I talking about? Them Deviant somehow managing to win it? Will's ain't having any of that.
William Zhang said, I see you don't have a shatter, you're moving out of the way, I'm gonna shatter them myself. And as you saw, that nano, maybe not needed, but look at all that extra damage that came out of that fire strike because of it.
Yeah, it's almost like it's just so satisfying, like getting that amplified fire strike. Like you have no idea. Blizzard only manages to catch that. Is definitely enough to open the point up, as Will's gonna have to play a lot more reserved. However, he doesn't want any of that. He calls for that Blizzard to get used. But even with the Blizzard, looks like Deviant still have quite a firm grasp on this point. As Juice, man, Juice should be just named the soda because he's absolutely popping people. God damn.
Might see a bit of a late stagger
back
here.
On the radar.
A very late B coming out for attack there. Wasn't able to save the first person to go down, unfortunately, and from there it was kind of just, we're all going to throw ults out, and Deviant has had the advantage in that fight because they used ult second.
Oh, Monster. This is pretty nasty from Monster, as he's gonna get the jump onto the Widow. However, he needs to realize that the rest of his team is just open. Oh my goodness. Well, the rest of his team was open. However, he seems to be the. It's like, hey, you're not stuck in here with. I'm.
I know you're trying to say.
Yeah, there's effort, okay? A for effort, F results.
So it was interesting because Disease saw Monster up there, but and the team seemed to know that he was there, but they kept marching forward anyway. Huge wall.
Yeah, Will just refuses to die. At this point, power right now, as he gets the nano and just charges on the point. Okay, maybe not charge on the point, just charges off a point instead. However, it looks like the rest of Cream Team is gonna be able to carry this out. No, another shatter from Monster allows him to take out the Lucio. That's a lot of sustain off the bat. However, Gummeat is still doing a great job keeping the rest of his team in the battle. And as Will returns to the fray, it looks like they're gonna get another cap on, and in a not shocking turn of events, but a definitely unexpected for a lot of us. Cream Team are gonna start out on the front foot.
Yeah, I mean, both those maps are pretty close, honestly. Obviously, Deviant started off very strong on Mecha Base. Team started off a little bit stronger on God, I can't even remember the name of the map off the top of my head right now. Downtown. But what it really came down to is, I think, alt economy as well as not staggering, especially at the end there on Downtown we saw, kind of had members rolling out one by one for Deviant. If they had stayed in spawn and maybe tried to push all together and set at the end, they might have been able to get a good recontest in.
There we go. What's called Daju in Twitch chat explained what I was trying to explain earlier in a fantastic way. Monster's just like, call the police, but not for me. I say that works out pretty well. But
what do you think? What do you think has to change for Deviant for them to be able to take the next map?
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. You see, that's kind of. I feel like they're a little too greedy with a lot of their plays here. And like that, like part of them are like some of them are just kind of going for what feels like hero plays and just unnecessary plays at the wrong time, and it doesn't feel like quite synced up with the rest of their team.
Yeah, I think that the Mei play right now for Cream Team from Simple has just been on point for the most part. The walls they're getting have been very high value. I think you especially saw that on Mecha Base. I was surprised, honestly, on Downtown to not see more of a divey comp. I'm not sure Mei is as strong there, but you really saw the Widows take over, both Disease and Juice having really great hero plays. Unfortunately, it seems that the team play kind of fell apart a little bit for Toronto Deviant. Really quickly, thanks Panda_Diva for hosting the channel. I'm excited to see what the map choice is for next map.
Yeah, a lot of especially with the meta that we were gifted here, definitely a lot of fantastic choices as far as variety of comps go, because the comp that they were running, unless the other team decides to just mirror it the entire way through, you can see a lot of variation here without a doubt. Like I'm still heavily expecting there to be some sort of double shield sort of is showing up here. Like what I don't know. What do you think about it?
It really depends on the map. So Hanamura will be really interesting. That's the next map choice. I think we might see a lot of Simplay come out here. She is very strong in that first and second point, especially for quick caps. I guess we'll have to see if teams try to go for a Mei comp to try to cut people off once they get to point, or if they try to do something a little bit more high damage like a Reaper.
I don't know. Mei on Hanamura defense. There's nothing that goes quite together as that. Like Mei is unimpeachable on that defense. Like, I don't think it's gonna happen. And there's been some rumors of Deviant cooking up something nasty.
Yeah, if the rumors are true, I'm really excited to see it. Will it work? We'll have to find out.
We'll see in very shortly, as the comps will be revealed. It's gonna be interesting if Cream Team is gonna stick with the same stuff that they've normally been running. However, I don't think Sybil's gonna stick to that Junkrat. Whoa, this is a very interesting defense we got coming out here, though. We got Junk Tor. That's just a lot of close range damage. Like this setup is almost undiveable in my opinion. Like they're definitely heavily expecting that. And as well, there's just a ton of random BS to get in everyone's way. I don't know. What do you think about this?
I think that the Junk is a great pick if they expect to sim. They might try to put a trap on point like they did. They might be trying to catch someone as they go through it and just blow them up immediately. I think it's really going to come down to what team can rotate better here.
Defend objective A.
Alright, starting off here, we're already gonna see Cream Team taking quite a bit of I'm looking at the wrong side. Wow. We're already gonna see Demon trying to take a large amount of map control, and immediately Cream Team falls into their trap as they're all stuck in T-room, just scraping together for a reset, as that is definitely the last thing that Cream Team expected to run into.
So that Torb turret placement was just perfect because it was able to attack them basically as they jumped off the high ground onto the left side trying to go to point. They were not expecting that at all. I think that Deviant played that perfectly. We're gonna see if Cream Team keeps playing the same. No, they've already switched off the sim into a man.
Yeah, they're not having any of that. However, interestingly enough, Gumby takes up the opposing Ana, and that's probably gonna be the pick that whoa, what is this turn from Cookie Breed? I know I'm talking about like 3 different things, but do you see that crazy turn on the metal?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's been known for a while, but like the interesting use of it. Nice.
They're not paying any attention. Dream Team is not paying any attention to that turret as they walk in. It is doing so much damage as they walk in. That turret right now is the MVP of the map for Deviant.
Yeah, I want to interview that turret at the end of the match. Yeah, are we able to make that? Hey, stop! I know you're listening. Are we able to make that happen? Can we interview the turret?
Oh, Monster already down.
Oh, that's not a great start already. Monster getting taken out, both tanks out, and just like that, Cream Team got to control the point. Despite the control loads from the Torb, not much can be done.
I would have loved to have seen Cookie keep that ult for next point because I think it would have been very valuable. But I think a little bit of a panic ult right there.
Yeah, the one good thing that they do manage to. They managed to get a stagger pick onto Panda, and that's definitely going to slow down the push from Cream Team. As Will, as aggressive as he is, he's not stupid enough to go in without his Zarya pocket.
I mean, basically, it seems so far the plan is we're going to wall Monster, we're going to kill Monster, and then we're going to kill everyone else. And it is working for Cream Team.
In other words, Deviant should probably keep Monster alive. Oh dear, Riptire coming in. That could be devastating. Oh, Tak manages to protect Will like an ADS from Siege. Like he was safe, like cuddled up like a baby. And now Cream Team just rolling on through. Oh my goodness, it's a clown fiesta up there on that platform. Honestly, I barely know what's even going on here. And at the end, Deviant managed to pull out on top. What even the hell?
So Simple tried to use his Mei ult to collect everyone up top, but Deviant were able to spread out a little bit, and there was a really great counter shatter that he hit that knocked a few people down, and from there, they were able to get the grab in as well, and basically Monster just swung in and said, "You're not taking my point just yet."
Keyword is just yet, as the ult economy for Deviant kind of in ruin. Both of their support ults on coming up. There we go. Big Dragon comes to try and force the tanks out the high ground. They almost take out the Zarya. Like, there we go. She might as well have died from fall damage that doesn't exist in this game. However, honestly, Cream Team's not doing this in a very organized manner. They kind of just let Deviant get back into the fight here. However, Will's going to try and end it right there. However, that ult ends up being very ill-advised from them, as he gets staggered the latest out of anyone. Although, as I'm saying, this Gummeat's barely able to make it out alive.
I mean, basically what it came down to there was team focus. There were a lot of ults thrown in, but the nano onto Kuki actually really helped keep them alive. There's a big wasted shatter by William. I'm sure he'd really like that one back. A lot of ults being thrown in fights that are already potentially lost.
Alright. Once again, big pressure going towards this top right platform. Monster comes in with a massive flank shatter. You can tell someone's been listening to Evil Toaster, but don't listen to Evil Toaster. But Monster's making it work very well, as Cream Team, they gotta get out. But luckily for Cream Team though, that was their eco fight.
Yeah, they are gonna have a much better ult economy going into this next fight. Mail's almost online, they've got Nano, they've got Grav. Honestly, May Grav is all you really need to clean up a fight, especially since Danny is not being able to build his beat, and a big pick on the Monster as the fight is going off.
Yeah, I don't know what Monster was thinking there. You guys saw blood in the water. He went for the money, but didn't really turn out there. Well, there's big stall picks coming out from Deviant here that can cause a lot of problems. There, but Juice taking out these loads of damage that's lost for Cream Team. And William positioned to follow up on Ram. However, up the Lar, although William does get stagger picked out from Monster, they're just trying to prevent him from getting back. Like, he's walled off. And oh, hold up, this massive Lucio duel on point can be. Come on, Juice. Come on, Juice. You can't interrupt the Lucio duel like that. Unbelievable. Juice
being the no fun police in this case, but I mean, I think the biggest story out of that is they almost got 2 ticks. Getting the first tick is huge, because if Deviant aren't able to secure a tick, it's not going to be a draw. It'll be a map win for Cream Team. They only have probably 1 fight, maybe 2 if they die really quickly going into here. Pretty even on the ult economy, different ults though, so we'll see who's able to execute better.
Honestly, with how quickly Cream Team's been playing here, I wouldn't be surprised if they get 2 fights. But no, it definitely looks 1 fight. They're preparing for this. They're putting in they're pulling all the stops to try and make this push work. As Disease tries to set up for that dragon, definitely looking to clear the high ground. Interesting shatter from Will there. And then another Evil Toaster shatter from Monster gets severely punished, but oh my, that's the biggest seismic storm I've seen in a while. God damn, getting 3 final blows.
Juice might be the one on the kill feed, but Ruka really deserves the credit there. That was a huge ante. Will they even be able to touch?
Yeah, honestly, the sports from Deviant have been on point all of this map. Maybe not as much the first series, but definitely this map. You can feel their impact. As Cream Team barely touched a point. However, the rest of the team are getting picked off as Tak and Will try to contest a point out here. Will goes for Reddit right before. Don't worry, he can cut that out in post, and no one will know a thing happened. However, as of right now, all we know is that Cream Team have not capped the first point. Not even getting 2 ticks.
They were so close to getting that second tick right there. I almost thought that would be a Charlie Niner for a second. But luckily, Deviant were able to get their players on the point right before that happened. They were at 65.4%, so close. Surprisingly, the Doomfist, that didn't get a ton of value on Busan, seems to be getting a lot of value on that second point of Hanamura.
Yeah, which makes sense, because Hanamura has a ton of There's a ton of, even inside the map, like inside the second point, there's so much high ground that you could take advantage of and set up with. And there's a ton of crazy tech out there. Like if you watch like any Chipsa or Brandito stream, like you can learn so much about just the physics in this game because of all that you can do with Doomfist on this map.
Looks like we're seeing a very similar comp from Deviant on offense with that Torb. They really do love that Torb. You know, but in my opinion, if they don't get a hammer kill, they never really play Torb at all. So that's what I really hope to see this series, or at least sometime between these two teams.
Like the sad part is that Diva is available, so they can't get the staggered kills onto the Diva. But no, because no one's been scrimming Diva, like she's just not here. It's sad, man.
Once again, we're seeing Cream Team come out with the double main heals line, so we'll see if Deviant can use that speed to their advantage, or if the Baptiste will be the answering call for Cream Team.
Yeah, interesting routing being taken by Deviant. They're not looking to. They're kind of just looking to sustain the fight going on here. I don't know why they're not doing like a Risa Rhyme for this stuff. But hey, you know what? I'm not the players in here. I'm not the IGF that makes decisions here. Well, all I can tell you is that Cream Team doing a good job holding this right corner though. Although I feel that in a second, Will is gonna get a little over aggressive. However, so far he's keeping himself reserved and simple. Like his equivalent CS player, manages to get those early pickoffs nice and clean, and completely halt any sort of progress that
this is just Cheech poking at each other right now. Nothing's really happened besides Cheech getting picked early.
They're just slapping pillows at each other, like nothing's happened.
The big advantage that Cream Team has, again, is that Mei wall. So I think what Deviant is trying to do is they're trying to bait that wall out so they can walk in.
Yeah, the fight's just over. Not much. There's honestly not much to say about that.
There is the lamp playing such a huge role. It is a great counter if your whole team is antied. A bunch of ults being thrown at it as well, with Ruka throwing the nano. Juice dead again.
Honestly, the defensive utility from Cream Team have just been on point here. But not only with the Ryan Shield and Immortality field. I just good old caster curse. I'm talking about how they're using their utility, and then Will just pulls a big fat Mooma right there. Okay, I see how it is.
Well, the good news is that he did get the turret, which has been the MVP so far.
Oh, they let you. Deviant getting an interesting position here. However, half the team is split off. Although that molten cord taking out Simple. That could be the biggest. Oh no. Will, what are you doing, man? He had his back turned, trying to flee and get his team to safety, but will not be enough in the end. As Monster hits an absolutely massive shot.
So the great thing about Lamp is that it's not an ult, it's an ability you can use a lot quicker. Problem is that it is such a long cooldown time that you really have to be decisive when you use it. They decided to use it for the grab, and then they didn't have anything for the shatter. Now Deviant are making their way to point.
Interestingly enough, the oh no, that's a botched main wall from Simple. They're definitely dearly, as well as the early immortality field having to be used. Yeah, this one is ripe for Deviant to take. However, Panda and Simple, they're trying to keep it in for his team. Oh, Panda all charged up. He's gonna be melting through everyone right now. Yeah, Monster, yeah, he can't get out of there. He's done for. Cream Team will hold on to the point. However, Deviant do get away with it.
Green Team's gonna have a huge ult combo coming up, the Grab Dragons, and if Danny is smart, they hopefully will not use Beat, because Beat probably will not save them in this case. They do have also the Tire coming up, which should be huge, but hasn't gotten a ton of value so far. I think if I was Deviant, I would just try to get ults out here for an eco push.
Yeah, just playing a good old slow. They especially want to force out either that they definitely want to force out the grab, which I feel like Cream Team is that team that's just gonna go for just grab dragon, good old classico. William not having any of those tires today. Big ult investment from both teams here. As for back cap almost comes in, not like that would have made anything. As both teams, a very important utility just thrown out the window.
I'm very confused by that tire usage. You know they have lamps, so regardless if you get a fat tire, if they're able to lamp it, it does nothing. A good pick from Juice on the Disease, but unfortunately, he'd probably be back because of Defender's advantage.
Yeah, that is a massive wall. Splits off everyone. It's Cream Team have this point under control. Like, yep, big reset from Deviant. I'm kind of surprised Monster decided to go further into the point instead of getting out. As that's just gonna feed to the ult economy of Cream Team here. As they're still missing a lot of key ultimates, but their economy, it's definitely better than what's on Deviant.
I mean, Gummy is getting huge nades, and there seems to be nothing that can stop them right now. Monster really has to be looking for that and trying to block it with his shield.
You can see him all rushing up right again. Although Gummy once again with the big kind of momentum stopping sleep there. And will taking out Diana and over like yeah. That amped fire strike, not much you could do about 200 damage just heading straight at you.
Gotta say, Cream Team looks like they're in complete control of this defensive hold right now. They are gonna have Grab and Nano on the side of Deviant. They're switching to the Sim now, so this is gonna be interesting. I'm wondering if their plan is to try to teleport directly to point, kind of force that engage there. It seems that every time they've tried to walk through choke, it has ended badly for them.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's definitely gonna help them get around the May simple. However, instead they decided to use the T. Pretty even fight. However, you have to remember that Cream Team still have Defender's advantage, and so many of Deviant's resources have just been completely burnt. Oh my goodness, how is Tax still alive?
Oh, this might be the fight for Deviant right here.
Ooh, yeah, Monster landing that shower is that is definitely a do or die movement right there. Yeah, Cream Team, all they have is attack. Still somehow, how's tackle? Goddamn, Dax survived for so long there. Although Monster getting so close to being taken out, Stall just barely doesn't come in from Simple, and Toronto will tie this game at the half.
I think it was really important that Toronto got that first tick on their first push. Really helped them win that map. I can't believe that they weren't able to get Monster with that wall. It was a great wall. I think the problem is that they used Lamp very early there. It was a great Lamp. It helped save, I think, Simple. But in the end of the day, they were able to get a really great Shatter and just kind of roll that point from there.
Yeah, definitely. Toronto DV doing their best to get right back in the series. It could have ended pretty terribly for them.
I mean, I think this is just a great matchup so far. Two teams that are very close in skill. All these maps have gone down to the wire, basically, so I'm having a great time watching it. I think that Toronto Deviant might be starting to figure out how to counter that Mayfly, as well as how to kind of work around the BAP. It took them a while, but I'm wondering if that'll play into the next map, if they'll keep that momentum going.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how the ban phase has definitely influenced the outcome of this match. We're seeing a lot more, and we're seeing on both teams, we're seeing Gummy and Ruka showing massive plays on that Ana. What do you think about that?
Well, I think Ana is a very unique hero because she does a lot of healing, but she just has so much utility with that nade. That nade might be actually one of the strongest abilities in the game next to Lamp. I mean, what we saw from Korean team, Gummy was basically single-handedly winning fights on that second point defense, and I could say the same thing about Ruka. They were getting huge nades. The value was just ginormous. No one's running D.Va, so they don't have to worry about that. The only real worry is, you know, Zarya can kind of get rid of that ability, but she can only do it for herself and one other person. So if you're able to focus down whoever's antied, that's a fight win for the most part. Moira provides so much healing, and it's great because with her orb as well as her spray, it's for everyone. So Ana, you kind of have to be a little bit more sync with your other healer to figure out, all right, who is my focus target for my heal? Because you can only save one person at the end of the day of that nano.
Also, you brought up a pretty good point there. Why isn't anyone running D.Va? Like with blizzards, grabs, and especially the anti-nades coming out all over the place. You think more people would be opting for that D.Va pick, but everyone's they're kind of just leaning clear away from it.
I think they're taking kind of the damage that Zarya does, as well as the shield break she can do with her alternate fire, over D.Va's ability to eat and take high ground.
But at some point, one of these teams gotta look at like especially when they're attacking second point there, it's like someone needed to. I feel like the D.Va would have been a lot of help for one of those teams.
I think that a lot of the times you would see both teams just kind of rotate to point and then they keep someone on high ground and there would be basically no one to contest them. But I think that, as we've seen, the Zarya ult is great for comboing. You can do it with Mei, you can do it with Doom, you can do it with Hanzo. So she gets a lot of value there, where D.Va Bomb is kind of hit or miss. Maybe if you can get in sync of your Rhine to shatter or charge the enemy team's Rhine, you can get a huge bomb. Otherwise, it's pretty easy to avoid if you just run around a corner or hide behind shield. So again, this tournament is for charity, raising money for the winning team's charity of choice. If you'd like to donate to the COVID-19 charity tournament presented by the Onomatopoeia Community Cup, we will take bit donations or monetary donations to the stream, or you can PayPal us at tournaments@zonkesports.com. And we've already...
Definitely a great cause that you would be supporting here. Especially cities all over the world kind of struggling, trying to handle this difficult situation. Like London, for example. Speaking of London, we're going to be heading over to King's Row for our hybrid map. It's definitely, especially with the comps that we're seeing here, there's definitely a lot of nasty stuff that you can see here. What do you think?
I think double shield would be really strong on the Rhino Rissa on this first point, and then you kind of have to swap to something that's a little bit more brawly. I would have loved to see Pharah here. I think that she could be super useful on this first point and just spam a ton of damage, but no Pharah. So I think that we might see more of this, Hanzo Mei that we've seen before. If the Deviant keep running the Torb, they could get a lot of value of that. I think that the only time Korean team has really been able to stop the Torb is once they've already killed a bunch of people.
Right, we're gonna get into the lobby in just a second now. But something that's been interesting to me is the amount of BAP that we're seeing.
I think that BAP can get a lot of value, as we've seen. But it's really on cooldown usage. You really have to kind of pick what you're using, because it's like a mini defensive ult, you could say like a beat or transcendence, and sometimes Cream Team is using it correctly, and sometimes they're not.
No, we're here. All right, heading into the match, King's Row. We're going to be starting still the same sides as it's always been. So that means Cream Team will be on the attack as they're looking to end this series. No, I mean, hold up, give me a sec. All right, I apologize for that inconvenience. Cream Team will be looking to make short work of Deviant here, as they're looking to start back on their aggressive takeover of this series.
I mean, it's been really close so far, so honestly, I think this map's going to go to overtime, and it's going to be an extra round. We have a more meta comp that you'd see probably a few weeks ago from Deviant. We have the Mei McCree. I think that could be really interesting, but the Zarya instead of the D.Va, as we talked about before. Korean team starts out with a Widow. I'm wondering if they're going to stay on double sniper, or if it's more they're just looking for a quick pick.
Yeah, it's probably just a quick pick. Maybe get a quick sonar arrow in there. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Simple sticks on the Hanzo here. Disease though, definitely just going out there for a quick pick, because honestly it's really hard to get Widow to work on this point.
If she can get some off angles, it can work, and we've already seen Disease can take over any moment if they can get the right picks.
All right, once again out the gate, both teams are refusing to run double shield here. Interesting. However, they're just gonna stick to their gun. by guns, I mean their hammers and particle cannons. As Massive Brawl stages on point, both main walls used pretty frantically to draw the other team out. However, so far it's just gonna be a battle around the hotel. Panda finding the first pick. Oh, that's still gonna open up nice and cleanly for Cream Team here. Also, Disease will stick on the Widowmaker, kind of just chunking in at the members of Deviant here. Managing to take out Ruka as well. Yeah, definitely he's getting good value, especially for Widow on this point. Don't see it all the time.
I'm not sure exactly what happened there. It seemed like a pretty even fight, and then it seemed like Cream Team was able to just kind of get one pick after another. Juice fell first, and Juice is now on the Widow. So we're going to see some great Widow 1v1 action. I'm hoping for some great duels that aren't ruined this time, unlike the Lucio one on the last map. Ult economy is still pretty similar, so honestly, I think that Deviant can make a pretty good hold here, but they're going to have to push in.
This is gonna be an interesting Kings Row Streets phase, as Juice is sees Disease on the other team. Is alright, guys, hold my. Wait, who was he playing before? He's playing
McCree.
He's like, hold my revolver. I'll take the. And immediately taking out Joe. Will's not wasting any time to try and get back in this. However, once again, there's not much you can do against that nano boosted run. However, Monster makes a decision of his own as he gets stuck in the bookstore. No, he just gets completely staggered. What are you doing, man?
One thing I've noticed is that Monster is hitting some really good shatters, but Cream Team are doing a very good job of kind of finding a way to separate from his team. In that case, they used the Mayo, no one could really push in, and Monster just kept going. That was actually possibly a one fight they could have had. It was very even for a while, but it seems like they were just too focused on, I think, Disease's Widow, who was behind them.
Yeah, you kind of. Oh, hold up. I'll talk about it later. Williams getting a pretty nasty fire strike, taking out Ruka. That's gonna take out a lot of sustain for Deviant here. Although Juice does manage to take out Gummy, as Lucio, he's just screaming. He can't believe what he just saw there. Cream Team, in a very quick and efficient fashion, roll on the point C there.
Now, this is the hardest point to really take. I think that the defenders have a really great advantage, especially if they play this right. But so far, Cream Team is in fact just rolling through Kings Row.
There definitely is a lot of room to. No, Disease. Stay infection in the side of Deviant here, as they just can't find a way to deal with it. He's just being such a pest for them. Although this grab from Deviant, they're trying to take things back in. They isolate Will and take out Tack, so forcing them all just right back to that third point spawn. Not much they can do there.
Cookie's back on this Doomfist, and I'm starting to think this might be his comfort hero because we have seen a lot of Doom so far from him. It looks pretty good right now for support ults for Deviant, but a lot of ults coming up right now for Cream Team, but they do get the pick on William.
Yeah, Cookie kind of almost acting like, oh, hold up. I was gonna say something about Cookie, but we have a strange appearance. The first diva of the match will be played from Wayward here on the side of Deviant. This can be extremely impactful for dealing with the grab and the blizzard coming out from Cream Team here. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he uses defense metrics a little too early though. Oh, well, man tries to sneak into the background to get a nasty shatter in. Doesn't find value with it, but the space was made, the damage was done, and Cream Team will continue to roll on to the very end.
We're getting stagger here. That's going to be huge. They had Nano. They could have used that on someone to recontest and maybe stagger out a little bit longer, but they are going to have to go into a 5v6 right now. The Diva was a great call, but yeah, like you said, defense matrix used really early in that fight.
Doom Cookie, he's still trying to find his value. He's trying to show his inner mirror, carry these fights out. But you gotta remember, it's a team game, and overall, Deviant do win the team game as the Nano finally comes out and it comes on the Monster. Although Monster getting a bit too greedy. No, it tries to take out Will in the show of
dominance. Just trying to assert dominance, yeah. But not working out. They're really lucky right now that Cream Team doesn't have a shatter, because that could have just been a 5-man shatter. No shield to protect you.
Speaking of which, Will's shield getting a little low, and he has to be wary of Monster Shatter there. Albert, none of that doesn't even matter at this point. As Kuki just fights 3. He just decides, hey, you know what? I think we should win this fight.
Kuki? I think that sparkle that we just saw right there, I mean, that was some great play. Getting the Lucio first and kind of just taking fight into his hands. But look at the alt economy for Cream Team coming into this. They have 5 alts to maybe Deviant's 3 at best. Big Shatter coming in though. They win it there.
Deviant do have a lot of options in order to count. Although Kuki tries to harass them at Kree. However, in the meantime, the rest of Cream Team are just completely just annihilating the front line of Deviant. This match just stopped them for a second, and oh no, that's a good old Nene from Panda here. That might be the calling for Deviant to get back into this fight. Kuki's already at it, almost moves Panda off the map. That is one that he's gonna be calling BS on without that. However, Kuki drops into the backline, taking out Disease. A lot of depth not there for Cream Team, and they just having a hard time. They're just having a hard time focusing anyone. It's because of all the damage that has been taken now, and as you mentioned, Kuki, he's just dancing all around Cream Team as they think they've won the fights. Cream Team's like, nah, son.
I thought a really funny moment there was that Juice walled himself and Wayward off to try to protect themselves, and then Simple was like, I see that you did that. I'm also gonna wall you off. The problem was that Simple just stayed there kind of watching the wall instead of trying to rejoin the team fight. It seems like Cream Team will always be up in a fight, and they just won't be able to focus down that last person. Mostly just Kuki kind of running around their backline.
No, I don't think they know about Kuki here. Almost taking about Gummy. Disease finally manages to take out Kuki. However, the fight is already back and forth. Tack being oh no, I was gonna say Tack being lost could have been massive. However, Disease and Will, they're trying to make it work. And especially that massive grab taking out the big stone picks. That's gonna be, yeah. Kuki getting taken out. Yeah, that definitely is the cap, and all that can happen now is Deviant has to push it into overtime if they want a better chance at winning this map. However, there's a good chance that they might not be able to make the mark, as the focus fire from Cream Team just seems to be absolutely on point here. However, it looks like the ball of Wayward might just barely be enough. Yeah,
that's a huge name. Oh, never mind, I spoke too soon.
Yeah, yeah. Almost getting the value, almost getting that sort of star player value. But hey, you know what? If you're a Deviant fan, you're not too upset here, because at least you force Cream Team to push it into overtime.
Well, so my prediction could be true. I think that they will end up doing extra rounds, and both teams will finish in overtime. So I think the biggest thing that we saw there was that Green Team had 5 minutes going into that last point, and they ended up having 0 time left. That point is much better for the defenders, and some really great hero play from Kuki. If I was a coach for Deviant, I'd be telling Monster, hey man, just unbind Shift for now, please.
What's called Cream Team go from getting held on their Hanamura B attack to completely stomping throughout King's Row. This match, it's definitely very back and forth, almost like the last series that we won. Actually no, I lied. Last series was not back and forth. Last series was a little one-sided for the most part, but it's still a good series nonetheless, like this one. So feel free to go in the VODs and check that one out, as that one was also a blast.
If you want to talk about a back and forth match that we've seen already, Theater on Titans and Underscore, that was a very, very close match that went all the way to the wire, 3-2. We might see something similar here, honestly. I'm not convinced either team's going to be able to get a 3-1.
Honestly, as far as I know, this can go we might be seeing Nepal come out, or whatever the pick is. Interestingly enough, Kuki on the Bastion. That is not a pick that I expected to see here, especially sort of Symmetra being set up here. Although Monster does lose his shield, Monster, you know that's the #1 rule of Reinhardt: never lose your shield. However, they're still managing it. They're slowly pushing Cream Team back bit by bit, and they're doing such a great job keeping Monster alive. Like, you gotta condemn the support line of Deviant here. They get the Nano absolutely farmed, and yeah, not much that Cream Team can do in that situation. Not to mention Juice.
You know, I'm surprised they're running this Bastion strat without the Symmetra, as you said. I think there are some really great TP places you can kind of cheese with her, as well as not running double shield. The problem is that Cream Team just can't run into them at all. The Bastion is so much heavy fire that even with Monster's broken shield, their Monster kind of retreating. Kuki's taking some great off angles.
Disease is... he's molding over the Widow, as he's probably like molding his team comes like, guys, come on, let me swap to Widow, let me take him out. But they're like, no, you gotta play the Hanzo, we gotta get the Grab Dragon coming here. Come on, I wanna
They're very close to having it, so they could end up wiping the whole team here.
Yeah, it could definitely be the difference maker here. It's kind of the main caveat of running the... Ooh. The grab was what... No, that is the grab for Deviant, actually. As they're just focusing on putting a ton of pressure on. So that grab, all it does is set Cream Team up to get absolutely rocked by Cookie and Monster.
Well, Cream Team lost that fight. Honestly, I think they played it very well. They got a bunch of ults out on the side of Deviant, and they're going to have a Grab Dragon. If they can get back, that's the question. They're moving the cart very quickly because they have 3 people on it. If they can get back, they could probably hold this point, but it's going to be very close.
It looks like Cream Team will be able to... no, I think they could have got back, but they're deciding to take the consistent option. They're just going to let it happen. Though the Grab Dragon finally comes in, but the Grab Dragon's too far up. It only finds 2. Oh, well, I was going to say it only found 2, but hey, you know what? They managed to make it work. Even that was a weird fight. Like, that Grab Dragon was a bit scuffed, but the rest of Cream Team do manage to clean up.
It was really interesting because I think there was a sleep that Ruka hit, and that's probably why they didn't end up pushing up. But they still could have won that fight, I think, before the fight. Oh, and a huge bumper shatter from William.
Yeah, you'll know Will. He loves to do plays like that. But yeah, the rest of his team do manage to clear up, and so far I've just realized that that's something Cream Team have been doing a great job around. Like, you can tell that they're used to playing with each other and that they're used to Will just going off and doing stupid stuff. Speaking of stupid stuff, Simple going in with the flank Blizzard to try and take care of the Bastion. However, I don't know. Would you consider that a worthy trade, the sound barrier?
I think that because they have the advantage right now, you could see it like that, but you really need that kind of upfront damage. But they are swapping to the Reaper, so maybe it was kind of like, hey, I'm just going to see if this sticks. If it doesn't, it's okay. We're swapping anyway. Ult economies, again, still very, very close for each team. Guro coming up on a bunch of ults. Nano on each side, really the only thing they have.
Yeah, Simple. You can tell that he's had enough Bastion, and he wants to sneak up on him and just completely destroy him. But it's all about getting in close. Right now, the most he can do is provide some support for his front line. However, a massive anti-nade from Ruka does not find its full value, and the Cream Team will just kind of roll on there. Like, honestly, that was just fantastic awareness from them, knowing that like there was an opportunity to go for.
Oh, but Reaper slept. Can they get the pick onto Reaper early in the fight? No, doesn't look like it.
Monster just barely misses his charge.
You have to take that as a win, though, if you're the Deviant. Look at how many more ults you have versus how many that Cream Team just used. And we have the Diva swap again, so some Diva play finally.
Yeah, this time Panda, and so far it's been both of the defenses on point C. Very interesting stuff coming out. Well, with the surprise shatter from behind. Yeah, there's nothing that Deviant can do there. Just completely shuts down their push. Unbelievable stuff. And I'm pretty sure, was that jumping shatter all the way from blue?
He was hiding behind another bumper shatter. I think Deviant really has got to be keeping an eye on that, because if you don't see the enemy right in front of you, then odds are they're probably hiding somewhere trying to shadow you. While Deviant have a really good economy right now, Cream Team is just getting these single fight wins, but they do open it up with a pick.
Yeah, that's definitely not the start that you're hoping for. Really not the start you're hoping for if you're Cream Team there. Yikes. that's probably the one word that sums up that fight there. Just
Look at where
yikes.
Kuki is right now. If Kuki rotates, he might have the perfect angle.
When did Kuki get up there? Kuki's pulling a good old architect up here. They can't dislodge him from this position, and he can rotate. Honestly, he can rotate to the other window. Although Simple is trying to get back into this game. However, Juice manages to take him out. Simple probably wishing that he had an op instead of the Nova. Although Disease definitely slowly coming back. Like I say, he's that infection in the side of Deviant, slowly trying to bring it back for them. As yep. Will gives a good old hello, good old salute as he wishes Deviant back to the spawn room.
Finally switching off the Bastion, which I think they probably should have done a while ago, especially if you're not running double shield. They're sticking with the Tracer. I'm wondering if they're thinking, well, we're so close to full spawn, we can just get a quick pick to open the fight. But using 4 ults when you still have a recontest wasn't great ult management.
Interesting decision from Simple. He's gonna stay with his team even with the
Shatter.
Yeah, it does take out it only gets one, but it takes out such an important target in that Lucio. Although William is getting close to one of his own, just man back and forth. Simple getting taken out on the front line, not able to use his Death Blossom to potentially turn the fight there. And he's gonna have a hard time getting Valley anyway with that Diva in there.
They can kill this Lucio, they're gonna cap. Oh no, the balls came in the Reaper.
The most they can do is just get it down to 1 minute. However, yeah, Panda does manage to stretch this out, this game out just a little bit more by getting it to that 1 minute.
Lose it.
Although there's some, Monster almost getting slipped off the cliff. That would have made front page of Reddit. However, it looks like Deviant just can't focus their targets quick enough. They're just letting the members of Cream Team get back quick enough. Although, slowly but surely, members of Cream Team are falling. They're about to get it down to that 30-second mark. As, like, they're just little cockroaches. Deviant, they just can't squish him. This bomb might be the end of it. Taking out the Lucio. Will almost getting back. He gets slipped out of a shatter. That shatter could have been massive, especially with Simple coming right in. And that was a lot of time drained from the defenders there.
Yes, but in the end, it's only a 16-second difference as both teams go into extra rounds. And I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I did call it there.
Rip. Well, anyway, so it's you can tell like these are really down to the wire here. Like these teams are neck and neck right now.
I think the biggest thing is that Cream is able generally to follow up on Will's aggression, while Monster, he's hitting huge plays, but a lot of the time you'll see his team is just not there to follow up, and I'm not sure if that's a miscommunication or maybe they just aren't on the same page. In the end though, they are able to put it away. The Bastion really being able to help them get in. Both teams having really solid defenses on last point though. Let's see if any team can put up a solid first point defense, because we have not seen that yet on King's Row.
Yeah, first point defense is gonna be. We gotta pause here. Probably some faulty connection. But as we were saying about the comps here, about the first point here, especially when the timer goes down a minute here, first point defenses mean everything. If the team loses even one fight on first, that could definitely spell out the entire series. That's you never know.
While we have a short break, we can talk a little bit about the matches that have already happened in the tournament. We're just waiting for the bracket to appear. But we've had some matches already played yesterday and today, as we talked about already. Bang defeating the Southlaws 3-0. Other matches were Underscore upsetting the Vita Ramen Titans. Bang will be playing the Hanamura Hellhounds in the next round at some point, and Bulging Bros will be taking on Underscore.
For those who weren't here, the bands for this match are going to be Sigma. What's called Sigma Ash Moira. What was the other one?
Farah.
Juice is already killing. Yeah, and Farah. Also, Juice is already killing people right off the bat. No, it's just Simple. Can't get a break here. Like he wants to challenge that dude. He wants to grab the op. He wants to pull in his inner Simple.
Yeah, that was of a scouting arrow too. So I don't think he was even looking for someone. I think it was just luck.
Yeah, definitely. Scream Team, they're taking a pretty slow approach to this. Oh my god, that massive
huge
anti-nade.
but they weren't able to capitalize.
Yeah, there's no capitalization. All it does is really just scare off Deviant for the time being. Although, what does more than scare off is that wall from Simple there, as he tries to get his revenge for that earlier pick-off earlier on. However, it looks like Deviant, they're still holding in this despite the odds. Also, despite the odds, what's called? Panda manages to make massive plays to get the point for his team.
Yeah, some really back and forth gameplay there. It looks like it could be going in the ways of any team. It looks like the tanks on Deviant were a little bit kind of out of sync there, looking in totally different directions, and Monster fell, and that was kind of the end of that push. But they could definitely hold here on this arch, very close to a few ultimates. It's really going to be whatever team gets a good anti and maybe Nano first.
Also, what I'm realizing is that there's this battle for the Grav, battle for the Blizzard, which both of them are kind of contested in both of these. Oh no, Monster getting split up here. That could be absolutely massive. However, the tanks for Cream Team, they're getting very low there. Monster just forces his way through the choke, and they're despite the anti-nade from Gummy, there's just nothing that Cream Team can do. And the payload will not get past the archway.
That was a great recontest. Korean team actually had the ultimate advantage just by a smidge going into that fight with that grab. But they were able to get a big shatter as well as a huge anti. And then even though they were stuck in the grab, they just had Monster kind of swing to the people that were down from it. And they were able to win that fight, just like that. They definitely know their win condition, and it looks very feasible right now for them.
Yeah, speaking of feasible, so is this defense for Cream Team. We've seen them pull out in these situations before, like that defense on Hanamura. Definitely weren't expecting them to pull out there. Although now that I say that, they did in fact lose the map entirely. So, but maybe not a good comparison. Mecha based on the first map. That's a good comparison.
So they really want to keep this BAP, but instead of going for the Ana BAP kind of double main heals, they are using Elusio instead. So this is going to be very interesting. A lot of AoE availability still of the lamp, but no nano or anti.
Juice definitely looking to get some heads popping on the early pick. However, he decides to just trying to stick with his team, not go for anything too risky. And interestingly enough, we got Simple on the Junkrat. Definitely not a pick that you see all the time. He's gonna be looking to spam and honestly just cause pure chaos. And he might find the odd pick onto Cookie. As you see, Cookie's getting very low there. Yeah, Junk already having a big effect there. Although Will getting walled off and picked. Oh my God, Tak just got magnetized. You saw that?
I did. There's currently only a one-person advantage right now for Deviant, so they gotta finish this out quick.
Yep, it does get finished. However, Ruka does get the stagger. Doesn't look like it matters that much. Okay, Danny kind of just mozzied into that trap there. I don't know what was up with that, but we're gonna swiftly disregard that and move on to Cream Team. They're looking for this last fight here, and the Simple almost has the Riptire. So the Riptire, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Riptire can be the deciding factor of this match.
Absolutely. I think the big thing right now is that they weren't really able to move the card at all. So even though they had that extra 26 seconds, not in overtime yet, they're probably not going to have that much time to recontest. There's nothing to counter this tire.
Here Simple goes. It's all been touch. What? They didn't touch. Didn't touch.
Oh, that wall.
They didn't touch.
They were all stuck on the side of the wall. Oh,
letter number.
Wow.
Letter number. No.
That is maybe a lighter number. I'm gonna let Chad decide that one for me because I don't know. I regret. But honestly, that wall from Kuki was ginormous. That tire would have probably been a team wipe, but they just stayed on point, and no one is able to touch.
Oh my, that's like good old San Francisco shock. That's not just any one. That's like a good old shock one. There's. Okay, to be fair, there was a good chance that Cream Team was gonna lose that fight anyway, but in that fashion, come on. Come on, you're better than that, Cream Team.
Just an update on other games that were played today. Dirt ended up beating Zonk 3-0, so they will be advancing to the next round, and they will be facing the winner of Epoch Imperium versus Poison Hazard, which will be on Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So I'm literally looking forward to those matches as well. But back to this match. Boy, oh boy, it has been just a battle of inches. Every map has come down to the wire.
Yeah. Now, however, this next map is going to be extremely pivotal for Cream Team. Not only because they need to, if I'm the coach or the IGL for Cream Team, there, I need to be doing my best in order to kind of mentally reset the team, because you can tell that they're definitely boomed from that one, because that is a rough one right there. Someone just needs to get everyone's heads back on and just get back in the series, all guns blazing.
There are two things I want to point out. First of all, I have been mispronouncing Cookie this entire time, so I apologize for that when you rewatch the VOD. I know you've casted for me, so I definitely wouldn't want you mispronouncing my name, so I definitely apologize. But I think one of the most interesting things that I've seen currently right now is Deviant have chosen Watchpoint, and they're saying last map. That is a bold statement to make, because these have been so close. I still think it's going to go to map 5.
Yeah, we're going to.
I've been debated.
Yikes! Okay. Well, you know what? That's an interesting decision from Cream Team, because what's called Cookie Bread has a lot of really nasty rollouts on that map. Like for Doomfist especially. Like, he has so much flexibility, just sliding all over the roofs, getting massive seismic slams in there. Although this is also a pretty decent map for Reinhardt, especially especially first and third points. Just nice close quarters that force everyone to kind of come to him.
You know, I would love to see Cream Team pull out the Torp. I think that Cookie's like really, really good Doomfist. Torp could be a really good way to counter that. Every time he's in the air, he's super vulnerable. But they kind of just seem to be hoping, hey, like, we're going to push in and ignore this flanker and hope for the best. And it's been pretty hit or miss. I think that he definitely took over that game a little bit on Hanamura and on King's Row defense. So I'm wondering if there will be any value you can get from the Doomfist here.
Just a quick message from the match chat. Juice just wanted to let everyone know that he's quaking. He's not ready for what Cream Team are gonna bring out on this map. Like he's not ready at all.
But he's probably ready.
He's probably worried for Disease's widow. And to be honest, I would be a bit worried as well. Like, he's been the Widow duels this entire match have been back and forth, as both Widows have been doing a great job just eliminating the opposing sides. So I would be worried too.
Well, I'm worried that this is not going to go to another map, because this has been a great series, and, you know, selfishly, I want it to keep going.
Yeah, come on, Cream Team, give us one more.
I just want to see it go.
This is it. If it's a map, if it's a map that they come out against, then I feel like it's this one. As long as they counter the Doomfist rollouts from Cookie Bread, then they should be fine.
Traveling to Dorado.
So one last reminder that this is the COVID-19 charity tournament presented by the Onomatopoeia Community Cup. We are taking donations to raise money for a great cause. You can donate by using bits, monetary donations to the stream, or you can PayPal us at tournaments@zonkesports.com.
All right, here we go. Potentially the final map of this series. Hopefully not the final map of the series. Head on to Dorado. And no one was ready. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay, I don't know what's going on there.
A little bit of memery right now going on. I think that Deviant really kind of are getting a
battle.
little bit cocky, or a little bit, they think they have this based on what we're seeing right now in match chat. It's never bad to be confident, but it's never good to be overconfident. So let's see if that confidence they have that they can put this away play into this. Also, really interesting, Ruka and Danny have switched heroes. We have Ruka on the Lucio, which I'm questioning that choice a little bit, because Ruka has been carrying some of these fights with the antis.
Yeah, that very confusing turn of events there. I don't even know what could have propped that decision.
On another pause.
You know, this is a perfect opportunity because we could talk more about this.
I mean, it looks like we also might see some Orisa play, maybe some double shield of the Reinhardt, maybe some pulled pork. It looks like Cream Team might be trying to pull out some niche things to see kind of what sticks, because so far they are down 2-1 in this series.
Well, then here's the thing though. Something that's also a very common strat on this map, specifically, is that a lot of the times teams will roll out with halt hook, and they'll halt on people off of the yellow building, and maybe even people off of the main high ground, and then they'll hook them in, and then they'll go back to spawn and swap to whatever they wanted to run. However, Will's a hog. Not many people have seen it, but those that have seen it said that's nasty. So definitely possible that he might be sticking to it.
Well, his whole hog might come out, but I'm not sure if that's appropriate on stream.
Well, hold up. I didn't think I meant that word. Okay.
But let's see what they did. They are doing the pulled pork strategy so far, so.
Yep, and nobody, just like no one was ready for the match start, nobody's ready at the top of the attacker spawn. They do go for the combo, and they do find nothing. So, kind of fishing for gold, don't really find anything. So just gonna go back to the El Clasico, go on that Ryan Zarya. It's gonna be interesting to see how they approach this. Whether they decide to rotate, whether they decide to just wait for them to drop. And it looks like a very early rotate from Deviant. Gonna challenge them all main in that choke there, because they don't want to. They want to just get straight to it. Wait a minute. Whoa! How did Disease poking in from the window, just peeking into Juice right there? The Cream Team not wasting any time to get started now. Although Monster does his best to retaliate. And that definitely takes away all of the two most driving heroes taken out of the comp there. Yeah, not a way to start.
This is another example of an anti-nade just completely turning a fight. Disease got a really great pick onto Juice from the high ground, but a really great nade and a wall were able to secure Deviant that fight.
Yeah, Cream Team will get straight back into this. However, once again, Cookie doing such a great job with this Mei here. And yeah, Juice just doing Juice things. Oh my goodness.
That stacker was so nice. I think it's really interesting. It seems that the play's been flipped a little bit. It seems that Cookie and Deviant right now are doing a really good job at the walls, which I've been praising Simple for earlier. And they're actually punishing Will for the aggression, which they've been punishing Monster for earlier. So a really interesting turn of events.
Is that stagger okay to show on? I don't think that's just straight up bullying right there. We're about to get hit with the demonetization. Oh, speaking of big stagger, Wayward, no! Yeah, Cream Team does doing such a good job at capitalizing on the positional errors of Deviant, as they will roll over the rest of point A. Although that nano, why the nano?
Yeah, 2 nanos used kind of questionably. Obviously the one that Danny used on Monster, not really getting anything because they lost the fight, but then Gummy using it to finish off the fight, even though there was only 1 or 2 people alive. That was really unfortunate for Monster, honestly. I thought the shield positioning was pretty good. It was really the people behind him that were caught off guard a little bit.
You know, it's a little strange, you know, that some of these. Okay, you know, we'll get back to that. Monster is doing his best to come back, guns blazing here, and yeah, I honestly didn't think Deviant had another chance at point A there, but was Cream Team pushing the cart all the way?
They only had 1 person on cart. They pushed everyone else up, and it seemed that Deviant just kind of ran into them, and they didn't know what to do.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
A really aggressive beat by Ruka that able to get in the fight, but let's see, Cream Team has 5 ults going into this, while Deviant's only gonna have 3.
Once again, another Griffin red. However, that. Oh my god! Everyone's dead. Everyone's dead. There's nothing else to say here.
She got 4 people with no grav. That's just
Wait,
great.
there was no grav. No, there was a grav.
I think there was grav. Yes, you're right.
Everyone died.
Yes, I mean, in the end, is Wayward's grab was better than Panda's.
My god, once again, the tandem ult's coming out as both blizzards are gonna be used on point. No, it's safe in the middle. Will is doing his best to retaliate for his team. They just need to make sure that someone. There we go. They take out Monster in the back line, and Cream team finally look like they're gonna cap point A.
Looked like it could almost be a first point hold right there for Deviant, but maybe getting a little bit too cocky at the end. Cream Team able to come out on top the very last second. Ult economy is kind of reset for both teams, so this is really anyone's fight going into this round on Streets.
Might as well be a new game, except for Disease. It's like kind of that one custom game that you join, everyone else brand new, and then you have that guy who for 20 hours. That's Disease right there. He's still farming up that dragon, looking to get another fantastic goal like he did last fight. Double nano on both of the Rhines. And there we go, massive splitting dragon from Disease there. Although that dragon also manages to do quite a bit of damage as well. A lot more than you would normally ask from a dragon.
2 nanos thrown in, but only 1 dragon used to prevail. I think it's very interesting. Will and Monster are just going at each other the entire time. Both of them getting nanoed, both of them charging into each other, both of them being bubbled. It's really a matter of which team can play around their Rhine best right now, and currently Will has that edge on this map, so far at least.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like, and also, I think it's interesting to point out that wherever there's wide open areas where, oh goodness, that shatter. There goes both of the Rhines right off a coast there. As I was saying, I feel like whenever there's wide open areas where Cookie Breed isn't able to take advantage of the walls, they just lose the fight because Will's just playing the Rhine v Rhine a bit better.
It looks like they were trying to use a wall to get in and maybe split any chance that Cream Team would have putting a wall down. But I think that actually worked to Simple's advantage. It seemed that they were able to just basically cut off the entire rest of the team. Another big chatter from Will there, being able to cut it. Wow, look at that wall!
What is that prediction? That is unbelievable. Pure vac right there. If somebody gets Simple up here, he's definitely using walls for sure. As his walls helped him get a wall to stop the shatter. Oh, yeah.
She's able to get the stagger a little bit though, so that I think they'll be able to get a recontest here.
Well, you don't see that every day, do you?
Oh, big grab holding them in place. Will they be able to touch?
Tell you what we do see every day. Grav Dragon right at the spawn. Yeah, not much that Deviant can do in that situation. As Cream Team, despite early on at point A, they managed to roll all the way to point C.
That was really that seemed like 2 different maps in one. On one, Cream Team almost got full health, and then they just rolled the rest of the way through Dorado. And that 3rd point especially is really hard to take. Monster went for a huge risk trying to imitate what we've seen from William, getting these kind of sneaky flank shatters. But Simple, wow, that was something. I mean, William had no idea that was happening, and Simple was like, "Don't worry, dude, I've got you."
Absolutely dirty from Simple there. Honestly, part of that, let's be honest, part of that was a clown fiesta, especially on point A. But Cream Team, fantastic job recovering.
I think it is flipped once again.
That's kind of them just kind of staying in the game all game. They kind of struggled on the last map, and then now they got the big Charlie Niner on the 3rd map. Then they were struggling on point A on this map. However, whoever's IGLing for that, doing a fantastic job keeping everyone in check.
I mean, this is a momentum game, and momentum has totally swung back into the favor of Cream Team. But let's see if Deviant can regain that momentum.
Well, I can tell you, Juice really wants to gain that momentum. Getting an early pick off to Disease, they finally managed to take out that thorn in their side.
But look, there's a Wrecking Ball that's currently being played by Monster. There is no shield, no protection.
Yeah, but good old, oh no. That's the problem with playing Wrecking Ball into the May comp here, but that's also the strength of Wrecking Ball. Wrecking Ball just eats all of the CC that Cream Team had to offer and gets out with his life. Or, I don't think he gets out. No, he gets out with his life. And because of that, the rest of Deviant are able to just go around through. However, Williamsing is going to do his best to prevent anything else from getting done.
It looks like they're switching back to the red. I think the point of the ball was that they were going to try to knock everyone from high ground, but Cream Team was able to rotate quick enough so there really wasn't any value, especially in a tight little corridor like that. There's so much less area for you to swing in.
Yeah, definitely not. And so right now it's just kind of a sustained battle that Will's gonna have to back down. Like, you can tell Will, all he wants to do is he wants to get in. He doesn't want to wait around for stuff to happen. He wants stuff to happen right now. So there's a trade on both sides, but it, without a doubt, is in favor of Cream Team there. As members of Deviant have to slowly trickle back to their spawn.
I have no idea how Wayward got up there, but I think the tanks for Deviant right now have a little bit of a disconnect with the rest of the team, because we've seen multiple times they will push in and then there's no follow-up.
Honestly, yeah, you summed it up very well, like, just in that one sentence. Like, they don't, like, you can tell the tank line for Cream Team here, like, they're comfortable with each other. Like, you can tell, like, they've played with each other, and, oh, okay. Honestly, that's just a good old Resident Sleeper combo coming in from Cream Team with fantastic follow-up on the Grav Dragon. Overall, just clean.
I mean, yeah, if Deviant wants any chance of claiming this point, they have to eco push here. They've got to try to get more ults out, because right now, they could go into the last fight with 6 ults. Currently, they only have 3, very close to beat. They've got to get the May ult out. They got the Shatter out already. Oh, using Grav.
Yeah. Although, a lot of times you...
Nano out, May ult out.
Yeah,
ults being thrown.
This Deviant's fight to lose. I don't see how they lose. They're still losing this fight. They had every advantage.
A lot of unclean gameplay right there. It looks like target focus was kind of all over the place. And now, they could have had 6 ults going into that fight. How many do they have now? 2. However, on the other side, the only ult they're going to have, maybe, is Dragon. So, if they get a good beat, they might be able to push through this anyway. But it's not looking very good right now for Deviant.
Although, possibility, without a doubt, is still there, so... I don't know, let's see.
Trying to rotate upwards this time.
Yeah, I like that they're at least changing up their strategies. Although this point is very difficult, because there's only like 2 or 3 like paths that you can take that are viable. Splitting Dragon finds absolutely nothing. It's unfortunate for Disease there. However, it's very fortunate for... Wait, where did the... I don't even know where that happened. Okay, they take out Will, so that's the anchor for that's the anchor kind of out of the picture. And then Panda just throws his grab away, because it doesn't matter that Will's dead. They've won the fight, and they know it. They just need to prevent Tracer from touching, and Tracer does touch, but I don't think it's enough to. No, it is enough to get that overtime wick burning. But overall, Deviant are way too staggered. Like, they're not going to be able to make it back. Lucio almost makes it. But Cream Team will take the series all the way to the map 5.
Man, I'm really on point today. I'm calling it. This has been a great series so far, but this map probably looked the most uneven, and I think a big part of that was switching the support roles. I'm still questioning that quite a lot. I don't understand why they did it. Ruka had beat for that entirety of the last fight, and at one point it was somewhat even. That's when you have to do it, because they had no chance of touching once they lost that fight. At least not as a full team. At that point it was just kind of hoping one person could touch at a time, and as we saw in the end, they had 3 people there, still couldn't touch it.
Everybody, it is time that we take this to a map 5. I'm so excited because this can honestly go to anyone here.
I agree.
Like
I think
both. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think Toronto Deviant got a little bit too confident there. If they keep playing, as well as they played on some of the other maps, I think they can easily win it. But I think Cream Team right now is kind of showing that discipline and showing, hey, we might have had the C9, but we're not going down without a fight.
Yeah,
Also,
honestly, I want to know who the IGL for Cream Team, because whoever it is, fantastic job from them getting their team back in it. Because if that was like any like normal team, like with a like meh like IGL, then they would have lost on that point A attack for Dorado. But nah, whoever was IGLing for them kind of just stuck with them the entire way through, and because of that, it's going to a map 5.
Really quickly, I want to give a thanks to Shrek2 and DVD for the follow. But absolutely, I mean, as we talked about, momentum was completely in the Deviant's corner going into that last map. But Cream Team, they were so close to being full health, but they did exactly what I told the Deviant to do. They kind of held the ults they needed until the last moment. They were able to use them correctly, and they had the best ult economy going forward that I think we've seen so far in this series. They just used them one by one by one. They were able to counterplay the ults that were thrown out by Deviant, and they were able to roll on through basically for the rest of the map. They only had a minute 30 in that time bank, but that does not tell the full story of how dominant they were at the end.
Yeah, the absolute chads that are Cream Team right now. They're holding nothing back at. They're and going into this last map. Ooh, I'm not sure what the map is gonna be here. But whatever it is, like if it's Lijiang or if it's Nepal, especially, I can easily see this going back in Cream Team's favor.
Deviant do have the map pick, so hopefully they will be able to choose strategically to their strengths. Lijiang would be interesting because you could see a lot of Pharah on it, and I think that would be the biggest impact we've seen so far is there is no Pharah available. For a reminder for you joining us for this last map, the hero bands are Sigma, Pharah, Ashe, and Moira. I think Moira has the biggest impact so far, but
although Deviant have one thing up their sleeve, and that's the fact that there's that they have a more flexible tank line. They Will has shown that he will play like the hog, but I haven't seen him on any other main tank other than Orisa.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I've heard of his play, he really doesn't like playing Orisa or Winston. So he's kind of just that Ryan one trick that the rest of their team kind of play around. So I'm actually curious to see how this match would have went if Ryan was banned.
I think it would have been very interesting indeed. I think Sigma's powerful, but he isn't as powerful as Ryan. So
I think a lot, like overall throughout this match, both of these teams have been sleeping on the Orisa. Like those hold combos are still.
You've only seen her for like a few seconds.
Yeah.
It's been unfortunate. I would have loved to see some double tank play. I think it's interesting because what we've seen so far is a lot of long distance damage heroes, a lot of Hanzo in particular.
Which would be grouped up extremely well with like a Ryan Orisa.
Orisa has pull, which is basically a mini grav. So I know the argument is, well, you don't get grav dragons, but you get pull dragons, which is almost just as good. It's on a much shorter cooldown, and you just have much more shields.
Yeah, and you get the pulls like every fight. And you don't have to dedicate because the thing about playing Zarya is that if you play Zarya, you kind of have to play the Ryan. If you play her with anything else, then you don't really get as much energy. I mean, the Zarya is all right with a Wrecking Ball, although Zarya Ball is kind of disastrous for the rest of your team if they don't know how to play around it. So that's something that needs a lot of practice. Also, like playing Zarya, Orisa, she doesn't get that much energy. With Sigma, not a lot of energy. You can kind of just see like she only really works with the Reinhardt. So if you have to, if you're running like a Hanzo there and you want to grab Dragon, dedicating all those resources can be very problematic.
Well, it looks like we're going to Oasis, so what do you think we're going to see here?
Honestly, I feel like we're just gonna see more of the same because both of these teams, like I said, they're a little afraid to kind of go into like a double shield. Oh no! Okay, can we interest you in some Ryan Zarya?
Yeah, this map in particular, it's really interesting because it has some high ground that teams can take advantage of. Not exactly a complete dive map, but you usually see far around here, so I think it'll be interesting to see what teams run instead. I'm really hoping if we do get to all 3 points, we see a little bit more of different tank lineups. Maybe some full dive, maybe some half dive. But right now it looks like we're going to see... I don't know if I'm being debated, Wayward. I really hope you're not debating me, but we do have a ball run coming out for Deviant.
I think Wayward's debating us here. Yep, he's not roll with that. He's trying to do a good old San Francisco comp, but don't worry, he's not as bad of a ball player as Troy Oben. However, he's still gonna decide to stick with that Reinhardt. If you watch Sideshow, then you would get that. A great simple here. Just splits up important members of Deviant here. As a generally slow fight endures on point. Both of these Lucios are kind of just packing in the heals, not even worrying about speeding their teams around. It's a very interesting fight. Don't see Ryan Zarya's like this all the time. Oh, Cookie Breed! He's just okay. He's just absolutely snacking on the backline, and I thought he was the Cookie.
Well, very interesting play right there. Korean team actually had a 5v6 or 4v6 actually a little bit because Juice was rotating up top and Wayward was caught behind the wall, but instead of pushing in they just kept poking, and I think you really see moments like that is you've got to go in when you're up like that.
Once again, oh my goodness, Will absolutely outsmarting Monster there. He's getting that. You can see how well Cream Team plays around Will here, as they just empower him to destroy everyone in sight. Although he has to... Okay then. Anyway, I mean, he has to be careful as, especially Juice, he is able to sneak in more angles on the rest of his team as he is playing super aggro. Actually looks like, yeah, Monster's gonna get quick redemption here as Deviant, they capped the point again. Will's probably banging his head after that one.
Juice just never died. He was so low at certain points, but he just hitting picks right and left. It looked like Cream Team's target focus was kind of all over the place, even though they had a huge shatter and kind of were able to get 2 picks off the top. They weren't able to finish that out, and the ult economy right now is crazily in Deviant's favor.
Yeah, Will was not able to get the bug that time. However, they're willing to take him all out. Although, a nicely timed sound barrier from Danny clutches the fight out for them. And and just fantastic cleanup from the rest of his team as well. Nicely done from them.
As we like to say, welcome to the slam and welcome to the jam. Because that grab Doomfist was just...
come on. Yeah, you gotta say it right. It's come on and slam, welcome to the jam. Come on, my dude.
I was trying to paraphrase so I don't get sued.
Oh crap, you're right. Cut the VOD.
A lot of action going on here, a lot of ults being thrown out, but it looks like it's anyone's fight right now. Turning in Cream Team's favor though.
Yeah, I feel like once again Deviant just got way too I think they got just way too greedy with their picks there, especially Kookie and Monster there. Looking for a bit too much in one foul swoop, just not able to catch him in the end.
And the ult economy is totally shifted now in Cream Team's favor.
Yeah, their ult economy is completely down the toilet, and they don't have any toilet paper to deal with it. So, yeah. You know, I think Symbol's definitely hoarding a bunch in his house. You definitely know.
Gets the first
interestingly enough, it's going all in Deviant's favor here. So Disease doing his best to keep him in the fight. And just overall, once again, Cream Team just wins the overall fight as Deviant, members of Deviant, They try to make these heroic plays, but they fall flat on their face as Cream Team synergies beat in the end.
But if you're a Deviant fan, the upside is that you got a bunch of alts out. All that Cream Team is going to have upcoming is Grav and High Noon, and maybe Beat if they can build it quick enough. You can do another dry push and get more alts out and then come in. However, from what we've seen, I don't think Deviant want to play this dry.
This is a risky play from Deviant. Going up against the Mei while going underneath. Definitely an ill-advised strategy, as the Deadeye doesn't even need to come online. Cream Team just... Ooh, okay.
The biggest story here is, one, will Danny be able to build Beat in time to counter Blizzard? Will they be able to... Who's going to get the Shatter off first and who's going to do it better? And will they be able to push in as a full team? Looks like they've been getting split a lot right now by the wall. Simple once again taking the fight into their own hands with those walls.
Yeah, luckily for Deviant here, they have a lot of potentially flip point here, but they gotta watch out for Simple's Blizzard. Yeah, Simple's Blizzard does a great job at splitting off the rest of the team. However, Sound Barrier does come out for Danny. That's not gonna stop Simple from sneaking into the back line and taking out Ruka. And this is all in Cream Team's favor. I feel like we're watching the first map again.
Yeah, this feels exactly like we saw it all over again.
Yeah, just Cream Team just pulling it out of the rear end. I can't believe it. Wow.
I think you've seen a lot of similar things that Deviant has done. They have thought, hey, this is over, and then they aren't staying disciplined enough when it comes to that last fight when they have it at 99-0. And Cream Team just says, hey, you know, if we just wall one person off and then use our ultimates in an orderly fashion, we can build them up again by the time that, you know, Deviant finally has ultimates to play against us.
Yeah, coming into University here, this is definitely going to be a rough map for Deviant, as they know that the Ryan Zarya Mei is going to get a lot done here. So they decided to swap over to one of their own. Interestingly enough, we're going to get an Ana BAP here. So that tells me that Deviant, they don't want to win the rushdown game. They just want to put all of their best beans into the sustain game. But you know what? Why not run an Orisa here? Look, Monster's already split off by the Mei wall. And Deviant are already on the back foot and they need to get out.
A huge miscommunication there, as you saw, as we talked about earlier a lot. That lamp is a great counter to things such as anti and wall. But as soon as he throws the lamp down, what does Monster do? Charges straight out of it.
So I'm gonna eat my headset if Wayward doesn't go on to like an thing. Like they want to play this slowly, but they're just they're trying to roll with the motion here. They think they got this. Honestly, maybe they do have this, like with just the Zarya and not the Orisa. Maybe I'm not giving them enough credit here. Deviant do manage to roll right onto the point. However, they don't find any picks yet. Although Will finally goes down. That might be... No, that's like his third death this round. What am I saying? Cookie Beat getting the cleanup kills as well.
So really interesting. They're using the wall to split it. So we saw this a little bit on Dorado. They were using kind of as an entry as opposed to trying to cut off the other team. In this case, it did work. They were able to kind of push in, and an early lamp kind of gives them an advantage. And I don't know exactly what happened, but it looks like Panda fell into the hole.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but it happened. Although despite falling into the hole, Panda still is very close to his Grav. Although that's a nasty split wall from I was gonna say that was a nasty split wall, but that was Will does such a great job recovering for his team, and Disease capitalizing on all of that space that was made. Very well done. Although the Blizzard from Deviant, you hate to see it. That very fun ult does manage to shut down this push from Cream Team.
A lot of ults used, but at the end, Deviant were the ones who came out on top. And they are going to have the better ult economy going into this fight. Both teams going to have Grav. Tak has to hit a good beat here, probably to have any chance of surviving this fight.
Alright, once again, we head back in. It looks like, double grab on both sides. Although the wall doesn't seem to get anything done. Focus fire on the monster. Whoa, what happened there? Cream Team have been on point with their focus fire all match, but that time there was just a lapse in communication there. I don't know what happened.
Still an even fight, but it looks like into the hole. Oh, I don't know. I think that Cream Team able to turn this around.
I am astounded. How did Cream Team make it out of that?
I don't know if they did now. It looks like with that shatter, they've turned it around once again. This is
but they have four members back on the point now. Actually, now that I look at it, there's 5 members for Deviant, so I don't know. Just do a bit of quick maths, and you can tell that Deviant
map, not just that fight.
Yeah.
Oh, that sleep! That sleep was insane. Ruka, you are nutty.
See, and look, Ruka's back on the Ana, and they're popping off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think necessarily that Danny is a bad Ana, or Ruka is a bad Lucio, but it made no sense to have that swap. But we're going down to the wire, the last point, and I really hope we see some dive here, but I don't think we will.
I mean, honestly, with how Will's been playing, I think that's good enough. I think that's basically dive, ain't it?
With how these rounds are playing, it might be dive.
I want to see. No, this match will not be complete if Orion doesn't charge off the TP. It's probably not gonna happen, but it needs to happen. It's not the outcome we need. It's the outcome we deserve, though.
Well, it looks like you've got teams taking 2 different approaches.
Yes!
You've got DVN playing point, and you've got Cream Team on fire.
Ah, damn it. Well, it's fine. Cream Team, they're just going to be looking for the perfect drop onto a Deviant. Taking their time with this. That disease kind of dropped a bit early, forcing the rest of this team to drop down in. You can see Immortality Field being such a massive utility boost for the defender. I mean, for Deviants there. And yeah, Cream Team, they're just gonna have to step out or play it slow. Yeah, they don't want to give up any progress, and so far it's working out for them. We're getting a little bit low there, but so far the sustain game has been back and forth. Slowly going in favor of Deviant though. Cream Team will have to back off.
That could have been disaster for Deviant. Monster was like 1 and antied, and I don't know if Wayward had projected bubble, but they were kind of DPSing very far away from the rest of the team. But in the end, they were able to pressure out Will, break his shield down, and take him out. This is so close right now, though.
Never heard it called that, projected bubble. It's like a halfway mark between its actual name and what. Okay. Anyway, yeah, that's a pretty nasty grab from Panda. However, it's looking to equalize it, especially with that Deadeye. Although Will getting the better of the 2 shatters using that team fight, he's gonna open it right back up for his team. Oh my god, these charges, I love them. It's literally like just diving into the fight. Like, not even, wow.
I think the big advantage Will had there in that fight was that he was nanoed, so even if he didn't get the kill, he probably wouldn't be punished as hard. In the end, I think Lamp came out a little bit early, and as we see, Tac is also on the Baptiste now. So they are running very similar mirror comps. The only difference is the Hanzo versus the McCree.
You go. Overall, fantastic corner play from both teams. They're just looking to peek at each other as they head up into the fights. And very aggressive Blizzard coming in from the Deviant here. Although Immortality Field was in fact used, and there we go. The second Blizzard from Cream Team seems to find overall more value, as already ults like I almost said ults abilities like Immortality Field and Bubbles were already popped.
So I have 2 questions for Deviant there. 1, why didn't you use the Grav? And 2, why didn't you push in and break the wall? It seemed that they were kind of scattered and they weren't really able. There were a bunch of people that were frozen, but they weren't able to do anything.
Yeah, Deviant, they're gonna have to patch these out if they want a chance at winning this. Defensive pretty early. Used pretty early. However, it looks like Deviant getting this. I was gonna say Deviant were getting the better of it. However, Williams like, haha, joke's over, you're dead! As they slowly push back onto the point with a burning passion. And Deviants are in the danger zone right now.
Absolutely, this is going into last fight territory now. They will have the swear, which they've been holding on to for quite a while. They'll have Shatter. That's it. On the other side, we've got the Dragon, which could be huge if they can get them in a small corridor, and the Nano online. It's really going to be about execution, who can use ult first.
Yeah, the Disease looking for massive value with this Dragon. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised Will dive again. Although, Monster, he's definitely looking for that Shatter. He's looking for a mistake. And that mistake might have been right there, as he almost goes for it. Yeah, there it is. Massive Shatter. Manages to take out the Ana in the backline. However, Will's doing his best to hold on to it. Same with the rest of the Cream team there. However, just barely isn't enough for them.
Oh, it is so close right now. A huge stagger kill onto Juice might give Cream team the edge they need to re-engage quickly, but it looks like there's still people respawning, so not today. But Juice will be definitely coming in a little bit late. The only ult on the board currently is that Mei ult from Cookie, but Will is so close. I apologize, Tak actually does have his swear, but Will is so close to that Shatter. So they could get a really fat Shatter if they were able to break Shield of Swear.
Yeah, without a doubt, a lot of people made the pressure it's like where Shatter could be massive. Although the Blizzard might have been bigger. And yep, Wayward manages to finish off that pick. Although
it's even. It's up,
yeah,
they're up.
This isn't, yeah, they're up. Like Cream team,
this is all over
they're
the
looking
place.
at them. Oh my
He's coming in with the huge Doom plays.
The DPS are just taking over this match, and honestly, I'm a bit worried. Juice is looking to just come in and end it right now. He's done with these fools.
Both teams are basically just waiting for respawns at this point. And here they are.
Yep. Well, just barely not enough time to get back to his team as they grabbed off a point. Monster with the double kill fire strike. And oh no.
It looks like
just
he's even gonna pull it out.
Yeah, just barely. We all thought it was over, but no, but Deviants, they defy expectations late round, and they take the series 3-2. That was a barn burner.
Some might say they were defiant, haha, but really that just came down to the wire. That Shatter was really great, but that Mei ult was bigger. The lamp timing, again, the lamp timing is so key. And a lot of the time we would see them kind of be a little bit too trigger happy with it and throw it immediately. You have to wait until the last possible moment to get the most value, because one, you can kill it, and two, it only lasts for 5 seconds. Because of that, they had the tanks in that kind of weird 3v3 when they were just all staring at each other. So they didn't have to take that fight. They just had to wait for their respawns to come in. That's what they did. They were able to win.
Oh yeah, Cream Team fans out there, you shouldn't be too worried. And still early days, and honestly, I would say Cream Team, like they had a pretty good showing today.
Absolutely.
Like overall.
I mean, I think if anything, they had the most dominating performance, map performance at least, on Dorado. You know, they full held. They were able to full cap. I really think that Kings Row had gone a bit differently. That would have been a 3-1. I think that, or yeah, 3-1 for Cream Team. But them not being able to touch the point, that was really the turning point of this match, and it kept Deviant in. And here we are, 3-2 victory in their favor. Now, if you liked what you saw, again, this is part of the COVID-19 tournament put on by Onomatopoeia. We're taking donations that will be given to the charity of the winning team's choice. We're taking donations through bits, monetary donations to the stream, and PayPal donations via tournaments at ZONKESPORTS.com. We've got a lot of great matches coming up. One more match left in the first round, I believe, which will be Epoch Ethereum versus Poison Hazard Monday at 8 p.m. And then we're going to have the second round coming up later this week.
Before we get into that, though, we got to decide our player of the match. And I wonder who it is. I wonder who the MVP is.
I have two people personally that I am debating right now.
Okay.
The first one, and I admit I'm a little bit biased because I'm a flex support player, is Ruka. I thought Ruka's nades were on point. The sleep darts were at times, like the exact perfect thing they needed to kind of either like stall a fight out or make Cream Team back out. Nano's here and there. I think Nano's an ability that you kind of just throw out and hope for the best. But Ruka definitely kept Toronto deviant in the fight sometimes. My other pick is probably Cookie. I thought that Doomfist at time just took over the match and kept them completely in the fight when they had no reason to be. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm also saying Cookie as well, but yeah, you're kind of right. Like Ruka's performance can't be underestimated. Like just because you're a support doesn't mean you can't absolutely hard carry some of these fights. Perfect nades, perfect sleep, but like come on, like Cookie though.
All right, I think we'll have to go with Cookie then. Cookie will be our MVP for the match, and they'll be joining us shortly for an interview.
Oh, what up, lads?
All right, what up? Here we have Cookie from the Toronto Deviant. Now, first of all, after such a back and forth match, such a tiring series, how do you feel after all that?
Exhausted and exhilarated. I gotta admit, when it's like getting to those like last seconds on that very last round, my heart, I could just feel it beating and beating. Like it was nuts. It was exhilarating. Just every match, so close.
Yeah, I could tell your knees were heavy, arms were some points there. Anyways, we saw some interesting. So obviously, Cream Team came out like fairly aggressive, like guns blazing from the series to the end. Like, how did you guys respond to that like aggression from them?
Well, I mean, we got Monster. Our Reinhardt is one of the most aggro players I've ever seen, especially as a Reinhardt. So I feel like that matched for it. If we played too defensively, we would have definitely gotten rolled by them. But with our own aggression to meet it, I feel like that's kind of where we went okay for most of it.
So I've got to ask, we saw the Doomfist come out quite a lot from you, and it got a lot of really great results. However, on Busan, it was a little bit less helpful. What were you thinking internally? Like, were you a little bit like, was your confidence a little bit down after that performance? Or were you just thinking, hey, I'm just going to pull through and keep playing what I do best?
Oh, 100%. Just pull through. I don't 1,000% remember all of Busan. I remember at least on Dorado when I went on Doom, there was a couple moments where like the abilities weren't quite working, where like people were just bouncing off walls and stuff, which made it a little bit shaky. But for the most part, I knew it was going to be like one of the only things that I could like play and enjoy against a Mei. Like I can kind of like sneak in and out. I just wanted to play anything but Mei, and I just kept obviously forcing it over and over again, and it kind of worked.
Let's talk more about Dorado actually, because in my opinion, that was kind of the most one-sided map of this entire series, going in Cream Team's favor. What was your mental like going into Oasis, and how did you guys keep it up and really persevere after losing that first point?
Oasis, okay, so that our mental was nuts. We were on tilt a little bit, like not gonna lie, some of us were on tilt. Dorado was just rough, like we had a pretty decent hold, then it ended up going to all the way to the end, which is fine, and then we got pretty much full held. That was rough, don't get me wrong, but going into Oasis typically controls our worst map, but we don't play Oasis too much, and we know it's not completely all for the Mei, because Cream Team, they're only playing Mei, that's all they're playing all day, so we're just trying to play around that. So we're going to Oasis, we just a full mental recheck, and we took that, well, I think first point pretty easily. So coming out of that was the full refresh we needed.
All right, and then Austin, can you walk me through the final moments there? Because like there was a giant, I won't say the clown fiesta, but there was like a giant chaotic brawl on the point at the end of City Center there. Can you just walk us through that?
Basically, we're all screaming at so many different times, and I'm just trying to walk around freezing people. At first, we come into it, we have a plan. We've always got a plan. It just always breaks down. Sometimes our comms flood a little bit. That's a bit of an issue. But a lot of times we're nice and fresh, but obviously the fights break down, and there's so much going on, especially with Disease trying to take these flanks constantly with the Hanzo and stuff, made it very difficult to just sort of keep one mind about things. There's so many ults being thrown out. But in the end, it just came down to I just want to kind of W key these tanks and freeze them as quickly as possible, especially Panda on this full charge Zaya. I mean, I don't know. Is he hacking? Is he walking out of spawn with full charge? I don't know what's going on. But yeah, like it's going hectic, but we're just pulling through, I think, and managing to get the picks we needed. During, yeah, like you said, the clown fiasco, like that's definitely what it is, even in our comms. But we managed, you know, we're really good clowns. We're good at being clowns, you know. Apparently pulled through.
All right.
Fair enough. We're very thankful for. Sorry, go ahead, Cookie.
Yeah, well.
Sorry, go ahead, Jack.
All good. One final question. You guys are facing off against DreamWorks, I believe, in the next round. The tournament, the first tournament winners.
Yeah.
Do you have any things you want to say to them in advance, or anything you just want to say about your team in general, about what's going to happen?
I'm excited for this matchup. They are a very good team. I watch them, you know, very intimately, but the thing I'm excited for is they don't run Mei, and historically, we're terrible against Mei. The fact that we beat someone playing Mei nonstop is incredible. But I know DreamWorks, they're not going to be running Mei unless it's absolutely necessary, and they might steamroll us. You know, that might happen. It could happen. They are very good, but we're going to enjoy every second of it because we're not being frozen the whole time.
All right. Well, we are thankful for having you guys in this tournament, and thank you for stalking with us today. Do you have any final messages for your Twitch friends?
I mean, sorry, I haven't been twitching for a while. You know, the quarantine's a bit rough. You know, don't want to play. I'll be on it soon. We can all enjoy some Overwatch. But also, I just really want to quickly shout out my entire team. You know, Monster's absolutely nutty on this run. I don't think we could do half the things we do without him. He's always just pressing W. And Rooker and Danny just absolutely nuts, being able to keep us alive through all of this is great. And of course, Juice, my duo DPS, doing all the work when I'm not, and Wayward hitting those fat grabs. We couldn't have done it without everyone in there.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, and on that note, that will conclude tonight. Yep.
Yep. That's it for tonight.
That will conclude. Yeah, that's it for tonight. Onomatopoeia COVID-19, a charity tournament. Make sure you stay tuned for next stream where we will be having. Wow, hold up! I completely drew a blank. EPUC versus Biohazard on Monday. We hope to see you there. Peace out.